Hi YouTubers! We successfully completed BCT. This is my roommate. We just got to AIT a couple days ago. This is Hardin. Say hi, Hardin!
Hi!
We're going to update you with how reception went. There was a lot of phases to BCT and there's just not enough time to cover everything right now. We just got off work and we're really tired. So we're going to go ahead and give you a quick update with how reception went. Okay, so I arrived there on a Wednesday, and I was there for 3 days. How long were you there?
I got there on a Monday, and I was there until Friday.
Okay, so yeah, she was there longer than me. And when I first got there, we took a bus from the airport from St. Louis. We took a bus to Fort Leonard Wood. I think it was about 2 hours. And when we got there, we got there at like 11 o'clock at night. Like, they took us there at 11. And when we arrived there, we instantly had a drill sergeant, like, yelling at us to get off the bus. Is that how it was for you?
Yeah, I took an airplane from Oklahoma City, which is about an hour flight to St. Louis, and then took a 2-hour bus ride down to Fort Leonard Wood. And when I got at the 43rd Reception Battalion, there was a drill sergeant in my face immediately.
Yeah. Was she yelling at you guys to get off the bus?
She was yelling at us to get off the bus and get into formation.
Was it that black lady?
It was the black lady.
She was so scary. And that white guy?
No, I had a black guy.
Oh, I was so scared.
We were ordered to sit on these benches. We had a 2-minute phone call, and the phone call was outlined for us. You read a screen, and you basically say, like, hey, Mom and Dad, I made it here, I'm alive, and then you have to hang up the phone.
You can't say I love you, nothing. It's just like, I'm here, I am safe, I will call you when I can. That's what it was, I think.
Yep, and you put it in a brown envelope, and you don't see it again until you get to basic training, where you get to make another about 5-minute phone call to tell them that, hey, I'm starting training now.
Remember?
3-minute phone call.
It was 3 minutes.
And of course you're crying the whole time. You're on the phone and nobody can understand you because you're hysterical.
Yeah. No, but when we first, like, when they took the phone away, at first, I wasn't that upset about that, were you? Like, when you called your parents?
I wasn't upset.
That night when we arrived there?
I didn't cry at all on any of my phone calls.
I didn't either. I didn't cry I cried on some of my phone calls. I'll explain that later. But when we got there, they took, like she said, they took our phones away instantly. I think that's, like, the first thing that they did. And they were just, like, explaining how you approach a non-commissioned officer. And basically you're filling out paperwork, and they're telling you the things, like, they're telling you what you can't have, like contraband and stuff. They're telling you what's allowed and what's not allowed before you get to BCT. So they made me dump out a lot of my hygiene products that I bought. Did they do that to you?
So after we got done with the benches and we put our phones into a huge container, they had us take our personal bags that we came to basic training with. We went into a separate part of the building, dumped all of our stuff out, and they looked at all of our things and said
everything.
Yes or no. There was a girl in our company, a girl in our platoon actually, that had a book like 50 Shades of Grey. They made her throw it away.
Oh, that was Wilkins, I think.
No, it was Palmer. But they made people throw away perfectly good stuff. And then once when you get to basic training, if you have anything that's scented at all, we had to throw that away too.
Yeah, everything has to be non-scented. But when they were going over, lists, and they're like, you can't have this, you can have this, you can. And I was so flustered that I was not even listening to the drill sergeant, like, exactly what they were saying. So when it was my turn to dump my stuff out, I seriously just threw everything in the trash can. Like, there's no talking. You don't want to ask. Don't be that private that asks questions. Just keep your mouth shut. And if you're unsure, just freaking do the right thing. Do what you think is right. Like, if you don't know whether you should have this shampoo or not, throw it away. Who cares? Just throw it away.
When in doubt, just get rid of it. You don't want to get in trouble later.
Don't ask questions. I'm telling you, don't do it.
Ask your battle buddies before you ever ask.
But even then, like, you couldn't even talk then. Remember that?
Don't talk in reception at all. Never talk in reception. You have to do a lot of PT if you talk in reception.
Don't talk.
So after we dumped out all of our stuff,
what time was it by then?
It was probably for me, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
We were taken to our barracks, our temporary barracks, and we were given some linen, some
PTs,
our blue book, some PTs, some linen, our blue book, which is like the Bible and basic training. It's
terrible.
It has everything that you'll ever need to know about being a private in it. They give you that blue book, and then they give you a a basic training combat manual that tells you everything about being a soldier. And then you go to bed immediately. Some people didn't have time to brush their teeth.
They didn't let me brush my teeth when I got in. No brushing your teeth, no shower, and I was traveling for like a day.
It's about 4 o'clock in the morning by that point, and you go to bed because you have to be up in an hour or two. And as soon as you get up, it is paperwork.
They seriously, they wake you up like 2 hours later. like on an intercom, like, right? It was an intercom.
Yep.
Like, wake up, wake up, wake up! Just like yelling over it.
So you have about maybe 20 or 30 minutes to get dressed, brush your teeth. Well, you're already in PT, so you didn't have to get dressed, and you have to carry around a stupid laundry bag with you. It's to simulate what it's going to be like in basic training when you get a weapon and you have to carry it around with you everywhere.
And you have your canteen. You're supposed to make sure that your canteen is full.
You
put it on a pistol belt.
At all times.
You put your canteen on a pistol belt, and you have to make sure that it's completely full, because if a drill sergeant comes by and checks it and it's not full, you're in trouble. You are in deep trouble. So that was another thing too.
Important thing to have when you go to the reception is make sure you have all your paperwork that you're ever going to need. All of your transcripts. If you're married, your marriage certificate, your legal documents, every ID
your
imaginable. Have everything with you, especially your shot records, because you can save yourself a lot of time and pain if you have all your shot records up to date. I recommend that you get some shots before you go. Get as many as you can. Fill up your shot record because you are going to get several shots.
Tell them how the shots went. Let's talk about that. That was terrible. Oh my god.
Whenever we walked in to get our shots, they line you up in a row. You roll up your sleeves
on both sides.
Arm.
And there's people on both sides of you.
Somebody comes around with an alcohol swab on each arm, and they swab your arms down.
You're
and
then
there's one person on each side of you, and they look at your shot record, and a nurse calls out like MM2, MMR, or they say
they call up your number first. So like my number was 584, so they'd be like 584, please step forward. Like they don't call you by name. You have to know your number. That's like
I was 593.
I was 584.
So they call your number, they read off what shots you need, and then somebody's on each side of you, and they poke you
at the same time. You're just walking down the line.
And after you get your shots, they draw blood, and they're going to test your blood for HIV antibodies. They're going to check to see if you are going to need more vaccinations down the line.
We're probably scaring them.
They check for pregnancy if you're a female, because that's very important. They will check again later, too.
And they give you a shot in your butt.
They give you a shot called the peanut butter shot, which is a penicillin shot.
It was terrible.
And you have
was yours terrible?
It hurt a lot.
Yeah.
It hurt. You have to rub it out, or else it will form a bolus. And essentially, if it gets hard and calcifies, you have to have it surgically removed from your ass. So
and you just feel like your butt cheek is tight for like 2 days. Like I felt like I couldn't bend over. Like
you're encouraged to rub it, and you are only allowed to rub it in the latrine or in the privacy of your barracks, because you get a sexual harassment if you're just rubbing your ass walking around. So the peanut butter shots, it's terrible. It only hurts for a couple of days, though. You get over it.
It was terrible.
You don't have to do it again once you get to basic. I would say that the gas chamber was better than getting the peanut butter shot. So prepare yourselves for getting a terrible, terrible shot. If you're allergic to penicillin, though, you don't have to get it. So those of you out there that are allergic to penicillin, you're good.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that, because I forgot a couple girls didn't have to get it. I was like, what the heck? They're like, I'm allergic to it.
If you have an allergy, you'll wear a dog tag that is red. I don't have one, but you'll wear a dog tag with your chain that's red, and you won't ever see that medication.
And then chow, you eat 3 times a day. You get, Nutrigrains.
Oh.
So Nutrigrains are big. It's like, that is like the crack for us. Like, that's like our dessert, because you're not allowed. It's our candy. You're not allowed dessert. You're not allowed caffeine. Any of that. So Nutrigrains are big. You'll see that when you get to reception and through BCT. Like you'll eat it. I ate a Nutrigrain 3 times a day, every day while I was at basic.
Reception for us, for me anyways, for chow, it was a lot more relaxed than it was at basic training. At reception.
At reception?
Yeah. You didn't have a drill sergeant that was in your face timing you to eat. They would try to rush you and get you along, because there's tons of more people that need to get in there and eat, and there's limited seats to sit down in. But the food at first was better. They had more choices to choose from, like fruits, vegetables. They weren't as rude.
They weren't in your face yelling at you all the time.
Whenever we got to basic training, there was a certain way that you had to walk in the chow hall. There was a certain place you had to
There's like a route. Like you can only, there's like one-way streets in the chow hall. It's crazy. And you know what? They don't tell you instructions. Like they want you to F up. Like privates, F up. That's what we do, you know? And when they introduce you to something new, they don't tell you instructions, because they want you to mess up and they want to yell at you.
Drill
like that's just how it is.
Their rocks off on yelling at people. That is their life. They are getting paid to yell at you. They want you to screw up so they can do their job and yell at you.
That's what I'm saying. Don't be the first person in formation unless you want to get screamed at. Like
try to blend in. Stand in the middle.
Stand in the middle. Stand in the back. Don't talk. Just don't talk. What else we did?
You are issued a bunch of clothes whenever you go there. On
like these things. These things are baggy. We're actually getting new ones in a couple days. These are the guy uniforms, so they don't even fit us properly. No, there's a female one.
Mine's an extra small, and it's quite
mine too.
Quite
it's
baggy
so big because it's a guy's. It's a guy.
They're made for men. They have uniforms that are made for women, but you are issued around $1,000 worth of gear.
Mm-hmm.
You are issued a camelback. You are issued 3 pairs of boots, 2 summer, 1 winter. You are issued cold weather gear that goes underneath your ACUs. You are issued 3 pairs of ACUs, 3 pairs of PTs, some socks,
6 tan T-shirts,
tan T-shirts that go underneath your uniform.
Sports bras you have to buy on your own.
There is a mini PX that they let us go to inside of reception. But
that was BS too.
They had pre-made baskets. I got a dude's basket, so instead of getting feminine items, I got man shaving cream and a man razor, which was okay, except I kind of needed the feminine hygiene items. So.
Yeah, and you're not allowed. I don't know. You're not allowed to say much. I mean, you can, but I just wouldn't do it. I would rather pay for the men's stuff than speak up and be like, hey, you know.
Fortunately, you were given a small card called an Eagle card, and it is preloaded with $350 on it. Females, you're going to spend pretty close to $350.
But they take that out of your check later.
Yes, you are not really given the $350. It's an advance on your paycheck. It is $350 of your money that they're giving to you early.
That they make you spend on what they want you to buy.
You have to buy a brand new pair of shoes whenever you get there. They are the worst shoes you will ever have.
You can bring your tennis shoes as well.
We were allowed to have our tennis shoes. No crazy colors.
Try to
keep it simple. But you do have to buy a pair of tennis shoes whenever you get there. They're Asics. They basically look at your feet. They don't even really look, but they walk by and they determine if you have flat feet, if you need high arches. They just kind of guide your feet, and then they send you in and they say, okay, you have flat feet. You need this color shoe, which is white, black, or gray, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And the drill sergeant was terrible at it, so none of us got the shoes that were formed to our feet the way they needed to be. So you have to buy a pair whenever you get there. If you're lucky, you'll have a drill sergeant that actually cares about you and gets you the right pair of shoes.
I didn't.
But we didn't either, so...
I did not have that. So when we got our boots, I got fitted for my summer boots, and I was walking around on them for a day, and I decided that they were too small, like they were hurting my feet. But at the time, they felt fine. So the next day, I asked the drill sergeant if I can go and change out the size, and he's like, private! Don't ask me that. We're in the middle of something, because we're getting shots. Like, you have so many different processes to go through that he just was not trying to have it at the time. So then a couple hours went by, and I asked him again, like, can I go change out my boots because I ship tomorrow to BCT. Like, I need new boots. And he kept getting mad that I would ask. And so finally, it was the end of the day, and I was like, I ship tomorrow. Can I go change my boots out? And then he yelled at me because the place was closed. Because the boot place was no longer open, and I missed returning my boots. So
it's very important to get a pair of boots that do
get the
fit
right
you
size.
Well, because at the end of basic training, you have a mandatory 16K ruck march, which is roughly 10 miles that you have to march.
Ours was a little more. I think.
Marched 18K. We were lied to. We marched 2 more K, so we went about 11.5 miles. But you want properly fitting footwear. Everything that you do is going to be done in those boots. You're going to climb walls.
So many people have blisters.
You are going to do some strenuous activities in those boots.
You're going to stand at attention for
hours.
Yeah.
No matter how long it takes you to find a pair that fit you properly, take that time, because you are not going to get new boots until you come to AIT or Family Day. I bought new boots, and they are the Rockies. They look like this.
Those are nice.
And the issued
Mine are in my
boots
closet right there.
are quite a bit different. They don't have a whole lot of support. They're longer. They're heavier versus the Rockies. The Rockies are lighter, so you're stuck with a boot that looks similar to this, pretty much exactly like this, until you get out of basic training and get new ones.
It's not so bad. Like, at first, my feet were killing me, but throughout basic, your feet will become tougher. So my boots don't really hurt my feet that bad anymore. But at first, I wanted to cry because standing at attention, it was hard. Was it hard for you? It was hard for me.
Your feet hurt for about the first 2 weeks.
Discipline, you know what I mean? Standing at attention, looking forward for 30 minutes, like, that's hard if you're used to just doing whatever you want to do. That was
another important thing to consider about your boots: if you don't get properly fitted boots, you will get stress fractures on your feet. Mm-hmm. If you get those, you will be put on profile. If you cannot complete the exercises you're supposed to or keep up with training, then you will be sent home on either con leave or you will be chaptered out because of an injury.
Con leave is when you go home for 30 days and you basically just get better, and then they send you back and you join a company where you left off. So like if you left in week 3 for con leave, then you will come back and join another company that is in week 3.
You get paid for con leave, that's an upside, but you are missing training and you are possibly pushing back your AIT. So you may be missing training. You may be missing training further down the line.
You won't graduate with the same people.
It's miserable to start over with a bunch of people.
Just get it done.
Especially for me, I was a Bravo 1. Kane was a Bravo 3. So all of us girls, we were all in the same platoon. We were in the same company. So the people that I met at reception, I was with for the rest of basic training. I graduated with the people that I met on day 1. So it was a lot easier to go to basic training with people I already knew.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard at all because I knew people. I had people to lean on. We were all in the same boat. We were all new. So
it was hard at first, though. We all argued a lot. That was the hardest part, is just because we lived in an open bay. And
60 girls.
60 females. It was hard because you're all in a stressful situation. You're all new. We started getting along really well towards the end, but during it was chaotic in the beginning.
The hardest part is learning to get along with people from different ethnicities, from different
parts of the world even. We have people from different parts of the world.
Even getting along with people that are a lot younger than you. We had people that were very young, very immature.
The older ones were immature, though.
Yeah, so people that never had jobs before, people that never left home before.
Never did anything on their own.
Never had responsibility.
There's this girl, she'd never been around someone other than black people. Like, she is black, so she'd never been around white people. She told me that. She said that was the hardest thing for her, was being around white people. She'd never been around that.
And as somebody that's white, that had never really been around black people, it is difficult to learn to get along with somebody that always has an attitude.
Pardon.
I'm not saying that all black people do, but the people that we were with seem to.
Yeah. It was an experience. Like, I mean, I was quiet the first 6 weeks, I want to say. I didn't really talk much because I just like to fill people out. Like, I didn't want, just don't get caught up in people's drama. Like, if people are shushing each other and arguing, be that person that just doesn't say anything and just stand there. You were pretty quiet too in the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a girl, she thought I was a mute because I didn't talk. Like, I just don't argue. It doesn't fix anything. Just keep your mouth shut.
Whenever
That'll help you
get to basic training, you'll be assigned a battle buddy. You'll be assigned somebody that you share
your bunkmate.
A bunk with. You either sleep on top or on bottom of them.
Get the bottom. It's easier to make the bed in the morning.
It is a lot easier. You will have a wall locker right beside them. You will do everything with your battle buddy. You will do exercises with them. You
will go everywhere with them. You will always have someone in your presence. You will never be alone.
You're never
which sucks. You have no personal time at all. At all.
You actually learn how to get along with people in that sense that you have to.
You work together. You learn to work together. That was my hardest thing too. When I first got there, like, if someone wasn't squared away, I was like, that's on you, you know? Like, you're not squared away, but I am, because I woke up 10 minutes earlier to get my stuff straight. But no, it's like, if your battle buddy or someone in your platoon is not squared away, you're all not squared away. Like, you all need to make sure that you're good to go.
Everything is dress right dress. If somebody is messed up, you're all messed up. If somebody is wearing...
And it sucks. It sucks.
Somebody's wearing one thing, you all have to wear it. It could be 110 degrees outside, and if somebody comes out in their PT jacket, you all better have on your PT jacket or convince that guy to take his off.
Yep. It's true. Because if one's jacked up, you're all jacked up. That's how it
Drill
works.
sergeants hate that. They want everyone to look the same. We were issued eyewear, iPro. It is the worst thing ever. You will hate it.
It's terrible. You have to wear it every day.
They are safety glasses that you wear everywhere. You are issued them from the moment you're issued them in red phase. You wear them until 2 or 3 days before you graduate. And if one of us did not have them on, we better all take it off. And of course, some people would not want to take theirs off. So then we have half the people with theirs on, half with them off, and you get yelled at.
You get smoked. Open ranks. March.
Left.
Right. No, it's half right.
Half right. Face.
And cadence. Ugh, hate that. Then what else? What else about reception?
Your drill sergeant. Our drill sergeants at reception were actually way, way, way worse than our drill sergeants at our company.
Yes, that was good though. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
It is a good thing. Reception for me was way harder. The worst part about reception is we woke up very early. It was dark whenever we woke up, and then we marched down to an admin building where we stayed all day and did our paperwork. And we did not go outside at all. So whenever we woke up in darkness, went to the admin building, and then whenever we left the admin building, it was dark. So you always
want to fall asleep. Like, you have these, okay, so our blue books, it tells you basically about basic training and about your M4 and like just different phases and everything. You have to sit there and read it like this. Like, you're at attention. Like, your heels are together, you're sitting up straight, and your book is in front of your face.
And you do this at the chow hall, too.
Yes. The whole time, you're sitting there. You could be there for hours. You're like this. Seriously, my head was, like, nodding off the whole time. And if they see you sleeping, you're in deep
falling asleep in any part of basic training is a no-go. You sleep when you're authorized to. And even in AIT, we just got out of a bunch of briefings today. We spent all day doing administrative stuff.
Death by PowerPoint
today. There's a lot of moments when you follow yourself, falling asleep, and that's a no-no. You only sleep when you're authorized, and if you learn to do that, you will not get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. But you're constantly tired, so on your way to reception, get as much sleep as you can. Like, don't be like, oh, let me throw a party because I'm leaving soon. Like, I leave in 2 days. No, take that time to sleep before you leave for reception, because you're going to so regret it. Like, you're going to be extremely exhausted. Like, I've never been so tired in my life.
I was told to get on a schedule, like to start getting up at like 5 o'clock every morning and then staying up all day. I almost do not recommend that, because whenever you get to reception, that gets screwed up anyways. Like, by the time I'd been at reception, by the time I got there, I'd already been up for almost 20 hours. So there went my entire sleep schedule, because I only got 2 hours of sleep that night. I arrived on the 13th. I got 2 hours of sleep that night. And then I didn't get to get a full night's sleep until the night following. So getting on a sleep schedule is almost pointless. Just enjoy your time you have at home and sleep
as much as you can.
Just enjoy the things
as much as you can. That's my advice.
You will get on a regular sleep schedule at basic training. So you will get on a good sleep schedule too. You get plenty of rest if you go to bed when you're supposed to. If you don't stay up and write letters or goof off or take showers.
A lot of people do. They stay in bed with their little flashlight. You're issued a flashlight, and some people like to stay up in bed and write letters.
So if you, in basic training, in all reality, we were guaranteed 7 hours of sleep a night. At least 6 if you had fire guard. If you had fire guard, it was only for an hour. And you just stand at your barracks door, and you just make sure that nobody gets up. Nobody
with your M4 and your full uniform, not your ACG or not your
PT uniform, a T-shirt and a pair of shorts, and you have tennis shoes and socks, of course. But you were at least guaranteed 6 hours of sleep, 7 hours if you don't have ACG. We only did ACG Firewatch. 2 nights.
2 nights on, 1 night off.
1 night off, and it's not
alphabetical.
bad.
They make the list for you. The sergeants do. The drill sergeants.
It goes by so fast. The hour goes by fast, and
at first it was hard though. ACG was like the worst, and ACG stands for Access Control Guard. That was the worst thing at first. Like waking up at like 2 o'clock in the morning and having to be wide awake for an hour, and then trying to get back to sleep before wake up. Like you get used to it after a while though. But it's not hard.
It's not bad. You do get on a good sleep schedule. In red phase, you end up getting up at about 4:30 every day, and then whenever you get into white phase, you get up about 5 every day. That's not a guarantee. There are some days when training you have to get up a little bit earlier for something, but for the most part, in white phase we got up about 5:30. Blue phase, we had a little bit more freedom. We could get some mornings we got up about 6, close to 6:30, sometimes even close to 7. It just depends on what you're doing that day.
Depends on your company,
Saturdays and Sundays, we definitely got more sleep and got more time to relax, because you don't really do a whole lot. But that's a privilege that you earn. You aren't given that right off the bat. Saturdays and Sundays when we were in red phase, we still had to get up early, and we had to do all kinds of things. So don't expect to be given things right off the bat.
Never expect that. And then also, like, females, you cannot wear makeup at all. I'm sure.
No tweezers either.
No tweezers. Yes, your eyebrows will look bushy. You know what? You will become a dude. After 2 weeks of being there, you will look like a dude. You will do everything that the guys do. You will do nothing different.
You will smell like a dude.
You will smell like a dude. You will eat like a dude. You will stuff your face. You will dress like a dude. You'll wear the guys' uniforms. You will
use man soap, because it's cheaper.
Yep. And you can't have scented stuff. You will smell like it. You'll do everything the guys do. You'll carry your M4 everywhere. You will carry the same weight in your rucksack. you will do everything that they do physically, except the PT standards are different. That's the only thing that is different between the males and the females as far as standards go.
In some cases, we had 3 or 4 females that we got from a different company. They were in our same battalion, but they were from a different company about halfway through our cycle. And at their company, they were not even allowed to shave. They were not allowed razors. So whenever they came in, they had...
They're shaving their armpits, they're shaving their legs.
They had some massive hair. So I hope and pray that you are at least allowed a razor. You should be allowed a razor. I don't know why they weren't. It's just a control thing.
Yeah.
But there are some companies out there that don't even let you have razors.
Yeah, it is a control thing. It's all about discipline. And honestly, like, you will feel... I have never felt so just degraded in my life. Like, when I got to 43rd, which is reception, I felt so low and, like, I wanted to quit. And everyone feels that way. Like, I know you felt that way.
Where you want to quit.
Like, you look down at your uniform and you'll just be sitting there and you're like, this is not me. Like, no matter how bad you want to quit, just push through it. There's so many people that have done it before you, and there's a lot of people that are going to do it after you. Just push through it.
Especially
everyone wants to quit.
Training.
You're not the only person. You're going to have crazy thoughts like, oh, you can pull the crazy card, oh, I'm suicidal. Like, don't do that. Just stick with it. You will be okay. You will live.
We had several people that faked injuries in basic training to go home, but in reality, the sad thing about that was we had one girl that on our first day of basic training, she quit. You have a thing called refusal to train. You refuse to train, they sign a paper, and you are no longer a soldier.
She still got treated like the rest of us, though.
You still get paid.
She was a private.
You still have to do the duties, but you may get to go home sooner. The first girl that quit, she went home in our white face. She was there for about 6 weeks.
I want to say, yeah, she was there for 6 weeks.
The second girl that quit, she quit about the same time. She quit pretty soon.
I want to say a couple days later.
She said that she had a groin injury, and she got sent home in our white face too.
I want to say it was week 7 or 8.
Oh yeah, she may have got sent home later than that.
Week 7 maybe, but
she got sent home later, and then we had a girl that was sent to our company that threatened to stab someone in the neck and was basically recycled into our company, and she was chaptered out, and she was with us up until 2 to 3 days before we graduated. So if you
the fastest way out is to graduate. They always say that. It's not a joke. If you quit, you will be there. You will be there for a long time, and by that point, you will be so comfortable that it won't even matter anymore. You know what I mean? Like those other girls that ended up leaving in week 6 or 7, like they were completely comfortable. The drill sergeants talked to them like they talked to us. Like they were no different. If anything, they were treated worse.
Yeah, they are treated worse if you quit.
They had to eat at the end of the chow line, like.
So they barely got any time to eat.
Barely any time to eat.
Drill sergeants treat them like they're cancer too because they quit. They are the ones that said, "Oh, this is too hard. I can't do it." And what's even worse is they make up excuses saying, "Oh, I'll just go to ROTC. I'll go to college. I'll become an officer." Whereas you still sometimes may have to go through basic to become an officer, or in my opinion, officer candidate school is even harder because you spend essentially a month outdoors doing a thing called FTX. You'll find out in basic training, field training exercise, where you just live off the land for like a month. Yeah, I mean you're given certain supplies, but I mean it's not the luxury of sleeping in the barracks every day and just doing things that you could have done months ago, years ago. Yeah. So the excuse that I can't do it, it's not a good one. You should never say I give up because it's hard. It's hard on everyone.
It's very mentally and physically challenging, but you just have to push through it. I mean not everyone gets through it, but a lot of people get through it, more so than people that quit. So just tell yourself you're going to do it. You committed to that contract. You swore in. You raised your right hand. Just do it. Just push through it, and you will be fine. 9 weeks and 4 days later, you will be walking on that stage, and you will feel very happy and proud of yourself.
You look back on it, and you might say to yourself, man, I would do it again, because there are some times that you look at it and you say, man, that was really hard. But it's the moments that you look at it and say, man, that was fun. I was really able to do that. I'm so proud of myself. That makes it worth it.
Yeah.
I know if I was told today that I was getting sent back to basic training, I'd put a smile on my face and do it, because you're getting paid to do things. You're getting paid to do things that most people never get to do. Most people wait their whole lives to do. Most people pay thousands of dollars to do. You're getting paid to. You're getting paid
to work out. That's why when they smoke you too, like, or cape. What do they call it, cape?
CAPE, corrective action physical exercise.
Yeah, when they cape you, don't get mad. You're getting paid to work out. Like, big deal.
Basic training, yeah. Someone's knocking at our door.
Okay, I think we're going to leave it at that.
Yep.
That's reception, but we're going to go ahead and update you later with BCT and the different phases. Bye!